pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning. Welcome to this Monday, May 2nd, Board of Commissioners meeting. First item is public comment. This will be for anyone who's not on the agenda. Not seeing anyone. We will move on. First up is Don Layton with Untitled Transportation Grant. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you guys?
Good.
It's just our yearly grant cycle that we submit to you guys every year. So as you guys know, you're our pass-through agreement party. So we have to have like a local partner that signs our grants as being like our pass-through person. So you guys are it. And so then it's just all the normal documentation that we have to have signed every year. Our funding is great. Like, we're in really good shape. We have no problems. We're not in need of anything. We still have like local match from you guys, as well as the city, as well as Medicaid and donations from the community. So we're in really good shape. We're just here for our yearly thing. There's also a resolution in there that has to be signed every year. And then the other part that's a little bit different this year, and I'll get with you guys on an individual basis later, is they've changed their some of their stuff for compliance. And I think, Josh, you might have gotten like the email with this big long list of things that you guys have to check off that we do every year. So that will involve like you guys maybe, or one of you coming out and doing a site visit with us, looking at our vehicles, making sure that they're okay and all that good stuff. So just our normal stuff. We're getting around $300,000, I think, which is a little bit more than what we got pre-COVID. So after COVID, like during COVID, we got a lot of money to do a lot of things, like, you know, help people get to and from vaccines and stuff like that. So we're going back to like normal funding now. So there won't be any extra CARES funding or any of that other good stuff, recovery money. So we'll just be, this is going to be a normal year next year. We're pretty excited about that. So hopefully we'll get all of our unit counts back up to where we were prior to COVID. We're still maybe about 10,000 units short. But now that the mask mandate has been lifted, we'll start seeing more people ride, I think, because I think that was kind of a hindrance for people wanting to have to wear masks on the bus. So, okay, that's it. That's all I got.
How much has it dropped from the COVID? Like, how much was that COVID portion that you were
receiving? The COVID portion of money, we probably got about, well, it was really weird because like when COVID hit, they stopped our funding at that current level that it was at, and they said, from that point in, then they put in CARES Act money, and so then we, instead of having a 12-month grant, we had an 18-month grant. So it was like probably about 300,000, I think, at that point that we got. So that involved, you know, like the whole current year and then a little bit extra. So we had stuff for providing vaccines for our drivers, safety equipment that we put on the vehicles, you know, like barriers and stuff to kind of prevent stuff from happening. My goodness, at the time, like we spent like, you know, probably $4,000 on masks. Like, to be honest, for our drivers, it was crazy during that time. But now we're all good, and we still have a lot of masks left. If anybody needs them in the community, come to us. We have some N95s out there still. So, but yeah, I mean, and we just depleted those funds this last quarter. So the quarterly report that you guys will get this time will have the last amount of that funding in it.
Gotcha.
Okay. All right. Thanks, gentlemen, ladies.
All right. Entertain a motion to approve the Untitled Transportation Grant and Resolution 2022-05.
So moved.
Second. Motion carries 3-0. Is it all right if I sign this after the meeting?
Absolutely.
So it looks like there's maybe more than one signature.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Next up is John Barbie and Envoy with our public-private agreement. Morning, John.
Morning. So this really is kind of formality of our bond agreement that we were approved for a couple months back. Got the form of agreement, the public-private agreement now negotiated, and the initial project, which is the boiler and chiller replacement projects for the courthouse and jail. Subsequent projects to be scoped out and designed and determined for future GMPs for consideration. But looking for your favorable approval and consideration, subject to council appropriation.
So I'll try to provide a little more context for so this is for, we have the GMP today, which is for the boiler and chillers. It's $1,118,028. That includes, get to the correct page. Three boilers, correct, at the jail.
One chiller.
One chiller, and then one chiller at the jail.
And
Or courthouse, yeah.
Yeah,
So,
associated pumps, commissioning, flushing of the systems, all those ancillary things that go with that replacement.
and the projects are based on lead time for equipment are in kind of three phases. So the boilers would be this summer, July, August timeframe. The jail chiller would start around December of this year, go into 23, the same as the courthouse chiller would start in December and go into 2023.
Correct, yeah.
Okay.
Intentions to replace each system while there's not a demand for it.
Right. Yeah. And so we're looking through the contract. There was only one modification, and John and I had talked about it. It had a closing date on June 2nd, and we were going to modify that or June 1st, and we were going to modify that to say to be determined based on council's appropriation. So, yeah. You guys have any questions on the project? Okay, I'll entertain a motion to move forward with the PPA agreement in the boiler and chiller GMP update.
So moved. Second.
Okay, motion carries 3-0 and to move forward, and this gives you guys the notice to proceed on the project. One thing I forgot, I do want to mention is John had said if we didn't get this done here today or this week, cost could go up 5 to 7%, which would be another $50,000 to $100,000 for the project. So this notice to proceed allows them to lock in the equipment now so that we don't incur that additional cost. So,
Correct.
all right.
Yep.
Thank you.
John. Thanks, John.
I'll sign that one. Next up is Karen Crum, and I'm going to say Mrs. Hoffman because she was my teacher. So we'll always be Mrs. Hoffman. Are up next. Good morning.
Good morning. Yes, she's going to come up here as well, but we haven't seen you guys in a while, so we just thought we'd give an update, and we're just getting into full fair season, and I kind of wanted to just give you an update on some summer programming that we're doing. So Esmeralda, of course, is working on the Grassroots Leadership Development Program, and then the Education After High School, which has been a huge success. Adam has many ag grant programs going on this summer, and he's also had a ton of success with his drone programs and things like that. And then, like I said, I'm getting into full swing 4-H. I mean, fair's going to be here before we know it. And so we just did some learning to lead this week. Actually, Renee Craig helped us do an awesome one for first responders back on Wednesday. We did closing ceremonies for that yesterday. And then mini 4-H and Clover Buzz, we're doing a livestock clinic this coming weekend. Clubs are meeting regularly. We're doing YQCA classes still, and then Spark Clubs. So we have a self-defense Spark Club that's coming up soon. And then, of course, the 3 weeks out of 4 in June, we do our Summer Kids Workshop. So that's why I brought Mrs. Louisa Hoffman, and she's going to talk about that too. So you'll be seeing more of my staff probably just coming to give you updates. You probably won't see me again until like August. But it's been a crazy couple of years, and we just thought maybe we should just start giving you guys updates again. But I'll turn it over to Louisa. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Louisa Hoffman, retired kindergarten teacher. I work for the Learning Network of Clinton County, and I'm the coordinator for the Summer Kids Workshop Program, which some of you are familiar. You've had kids in the program. We've partnered with Paul Philippi for years, and I just kind of want to give a shout out to this really unique program that Clinton County has. It's kind of a secret because it's just, you can't get this for the dollar value. You cannot get this in Indianapolis. Lafayette has nothing like it whatsoever, and so I just kind of want to plug it a little bit. We've got, it is in June, it's for 3 weeks, June 6th through the 24th. And at the moment, we have over 370 participants, which frightens me, but it's a good program. It's a good problem to have. We've just had an overwhelming response. We've got 32 classes. So we have these classes and they range from, we have one that's Mini Police Academy. We have a 911 emergency that Mr. Ewitz is involved in. We have cooking classes, digital photography, art classes, crazy science. This year we are working with Liz and we're going to have an aviation class that's going to be here at the airport that I think is going to be really cool. We have a welding class, just lots of hands-on opportunities that kids in school don't get to have. We use licensed teachers. We limit the class size because we want it to be, it's hands-on, so we want it to be safe and we want it to be a good experience for the kids. We are using, it's probably about 12 years old. It originated with the Learning Network, and for the past 2 years, we have partnered with Purdue Extension and with the Community Schools of Frankfort. Also Paul Philippi, who provides our transportation to the kids who live in town. And we use every inch of the learning network of the building of the extension.
That's true.
Every inch is filled with kids. We are also using the Edward Jones building, is that the right name here? Down at the Fairgrounds, we're using it for our cooking classes and our Mini Police Academy and our 911 emergency. We use Camp Cullum. We have an outdoor exploration class out there that Adam teaches. It's very popular. As I mentioned, we have welding out at Rossville, and this year we're having our art class at Clinton Prairie. So it truly is a county-wide program with kids from all schools attending. It's funded. It's very expensive. It's like a $30,000 program, which is a lot of money for 3 weeks, but it's, as I said, it's just very, very special and unique. So we get our funding just from local businesses. We just go around and beg for money, and they've been very generous this year, and that's what makes it possible. I want to put out there, we'd love to have any kind of financial support we could get in the future. Keep us in mind when you're making your budget, because we really would like to have just a little, it's every year it's like, are we going to make it? Are we going to make it? But we would appreciate that. So I just kind of wanted to give just let you know one of the cool things that's going on in our county. Any questions?
So you said you have roughly 370.
370 participants.
How many more can you handle?
Well, not many. We have, most of our classes are full. We have online registration, and we pass out these registration brochures through the schools. And boy, we were like, had tons of classes filled that first week. So we just have a handful of spots, like 40 spots left.
You have to be on your toes when registration starts, believe me.
You do. You do. I've had a lot of emails from upset parents.
Oh, yeah.
You have to be on it, because it's a very popular program, and word is kind of out amongst the parents, because they like their kids, want to keep them busy in the summer, want to keep them away from the TV set and the devices. So anyway, yeah, we're full. Any other questions, Renee? I did want to give you, because last year, I don't know if you saw it, but we have this system where the parents, we have a drive-through, we have Steve Royer out directing traffic, Linda Frenzy directs traffic, and on Jackson Street there, they'll be backed up a little bit because they drive through, we check them off, and the parent leaves, and we take the kid, and then we do the reverse. We did it last year just to avoid having all those parents in the building at once with COVID, and it really was a success. It takes a lot of people to run that, but it works very smoothly. But there probably will be some traffic, so I'm glad to.
I would suggest that you make the same report to the council. I would suggest that you get on their radar, especially if you're going to need or ask for some additional money.
Okay.
I think it would be wise for the council to know exactly what you're doing.
Okay, I would be glad. I don't know anything about their meetings, but I would be glad to come and.
I can help.
Next
her.
Tuesday.
Is it next Tuesday?
At the courthouse,
Next Tuesday,
9 o'clock.
9 o'clock at the courthouse. Do I need to contact somebody to get on the agenda?
Brent,
There you go, you're on the agenda.
Okay,
Sorry about that.
that's okay. Any other? We also are partnering with Clinton County. We have our police academy. We work with Sheriff Kelly, and that was a really cool class last year. We got a lot of positive feedback. So, thank you.
Thanks for a nice job.
Next up, Rick. Good morning, Rick. County Highway update.
The state's going to close the bridge temporarily on 421-39. We use 300 west or 300 north to 300 west to Farmers Gravel, which has the unofficial detour. I think they have fine my information. And highway department still spreading gravel and putting pipes in and stuff. We'll probably be spreading gravel to the end of May. We swept, last week they swept about 1,000, swept all the loose stuff off of it, getting it ready to wedge. Hopefully we can wedge it next week. I think it's a little bit weather, but it looks better already, so that's basically all I got.
One thing I think you're not mentioning, Rick, is community crossings.
I'm sorry. Yes.
We received
Yeah,
$1 million.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, we got our $1 million again, so I'm anxious. Hopefully, I'm not sure, I can't remember exactly how things work. I'm hoping we can discuss bids next week or next couple weeks. Sometime this month. I'm ready to get started on that.
I can't remember what project that was for, what we get awarded for.
We're going to pave Green Lawn Road,
Okay,
and then we're going to pave Sales Road from Green Lawn Road into Frankfurt.
gotcha.
Because that's a runaround for everybody
Oh,
that
yeah.
doesn't want to go through Frankfurt. And then we're also going to go out to 800 west,
Okay,
south of the new
that's
factory.
right,
And take it all the way to 52.
that's right.
And everything we're not going to mill anything, everything will be a wedge and level, so it'll be, but the guys, we got our pipes located, and we should be out there today replacing pipes. On 800 west there where it floods, we're going to build that up.
Okay.
Flood anymore.
Okay.
Okay,
How many years in a row is this that we've received the million?
6
years.
Yeah, I saw your, yeah,
So,
Facebook thing.
yeah, kudos to you guys.
That's really nice, thank you.
Thanks, Rick.
Any other? No. All right, I guess we'll entertain a motion to accept the NDOT road detour for 421 north, utilizing Farmers Gravel and 300 west, 300 north.
So moved. Second.
Motion carries 3-0. Looks like all three of us on that one. Next up is Liz Stitzel. Hi, Liz.
I don't have a whole lot this morning. I anticipate grass starting any time, but I think this kind of up and down weather is, slowing that down.
Or maybe everyone's actually mowing their grass.
Maybe everyone is, because of all
That's
the
probably too
possibilities.
optimistic.
I'll join you in that. So, do you have anything for me?
I do. I think we talked about this before, and I can't remember if it's in the county or if it's in the city, but there is a house on 0 across from ADM.
On the north side,
Yeah, and I think it's in the county, but
it is.
it probably needs the grass.
Yep, I know last year, I think we mowed that a few times.
Yeah.
So I will pass that on to Kat. We're excited.
Yeah, okay, thanks. I think I know that we've talked about that before, and I've talked to Niels. The owner of that is an absentee owner. And
Exactly.
nobody really knows where they.
Yeah, we tore down a barn out there as an unsafe
Yeah,
structure a few
yeah.
years ago, but the house
House seems
structurally, still sound, but yeah, it's, I think just one of those recurring ones until
Thank
such
you.
time as it has a reuse.
Thanks.
No problem.
Thanks, Liz. Next up is Sheriff Kelly.
Good morning, everybody. I've been approached by our maintenance staff that we have trailers. We have a 20-foot Big Tex trailer, and it has a manufactured VIN number. That vehicle came to the sheriff's office as a part of a criminal case prior to my administration. So it's didn't truly cost us anything other than the work where it was seized, where it was provided from. The other one is a aluminum snow, like a snowmobile trailer. Sits high, not really any real use to it. And the goal is to get a trailer that they can use, and they want a tilt trailer. They know the tilt somehow then latches and they drive up on it, and then it locks back in. And that's something that they would like to use. I've talked to Mr. Campbell out at County Highway. He might need that trailer that's the 20-foot. So I asked him to stop by, take a look at it here in the next few days. I'll send out an email with hopefully some pictures to other department heads to see if these trailers could be of use. And I also want you to think about that, the small white command trailer that we used to use. Now we have the larger one. I don't have any reasonable use for it anymore. And it is an enclosed trailer, but it would be better served to serve donuts and food out of it to a certain extent. So it's something that we don't need. And I hate to see it sit out there. And it does have some auxiliary things that will go bad if not in use. So I'll send that picture out as well. I'll send that information out to the department heads. Because then we usually do that, ask to see if the other agents, the other departments want to use it.
If nobody wants to wait, then you should trade it in or what?
There's no use in it. I mean, if one of the groups could use it, the Girl Scouts have beat my door down trying to use that trailer to sell cookies out of. And I said, I really can't get permission for you to do that. But I mean, it's something that we could either sell, if there's a group that would need it for to you guys at the Learning Network for, I mean, somebody could use it. But we
Anything
don't.
like that, give it to a non-for-profit, I think we can do it, you know.
So
We can give it away, just give it to you.
that's up to you guys. It's your trailer. So,
Can they get us a value on it?
yeah, I think you could. I'm gonna guess probably $2,500, $3,500. But it's a special use trailer. It has the open side. We used it at the fairgrounds, but there's no use for it now at the sheriff's office. So, I'll send the email out to you respectfully and to the department heads to see if anybody's interested in using that. Rick can stop by and check out the 20-foot trailer and see if he can use that.
What's maintenance purpose for using this split?
I really don't. Honestly, it's to move other things around, like the golf cart. It's too big for that snowmobile trailer, and the 20-foot trailer is almost way too big, and it's just difficult to get around. It's just hard to use. The tilt trailer, I think they'll use it more for moving the forklift around, taking it to different places or whatever. When sometimes on different projects that we could help with at the fairgrounds, but we do have that forklift. I'm thinking that they're going to use it for that, use it for the Polaris side to side, and along with the golf carts that they have currently. So I think it's a more reasonable use and moving heavy things to get fixed, things like that. If we have had in the past picked up washers, dishwashers, stuff like that, and it just seems like it's a better use of the trailer, better usable trailer.
You have funds for it?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, obviously we could do that through a commissary, something like that, but we're not going to ask council for funds, and if we get these trade-ins or whatever the case is, wherever these trailers go, I still think they still need to purchase a trailer. We'll do that, like we did the truck for maintenance. We did that through commissary and other equipment. So not a worry on that.
I just didn't know if you had it in your budget or not. I haven't looked, that's why.
We can absorb that cost at the sheriff's office.
Okay.
I was just wanting to make sure we did got rid of the trailers the right way through the other department heads.
Yeah, I would say let's check with, see if Rick wants it. If not, trade it in, and maybe they can give us an idea on the small white one, and next meeting we'll kind of discuss it. No one else wants it, what our options are.
Okay, thank you, appreciate it.
All right. Oh, Sheriff, I had one thing for you.
Yes, sir.
I want to give this to you. I don't know, maybe you received it. I feel like to be responsible, we have to give it to you, whether it's real or not. This First Amendment audits.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So we got a couple emails about it, and they said they're targeting law enforcement and doing the camera stuff.
Yes.
I sent to us and a bunch of other counties, like again, I just think, there's some misconceptions about us, how we handle things, and I think it's irresponsible if we at least don't share it, whether that's true or comes here or not, no different than when that Mulberry incident happened a couple of years ago.
We just put out some training that I can send to you folks if you want to send it to your office, and it gives a good description of really what you have to do. And a lot of times it's a lot of patience, and they will, push everybody's buttons until they get the reaction that they're looking for. So I'll have our court staff send it to everybody or share it with the courthouse people. And it's really a good informational training. It came from one of the FBI agents that deals with a lot of these folks. It's nothing that's classified or sensitive, but it's good information and training. But our courthouse people have been through the training, and so have our road deputies and everybody at the jail, because they might have to show up and assist and with these folks. But they are a definite nuisance, to say the least. But we can quickly put ourselves in a liability issue when we do the wrong thing, and that's what they're counting on. Somebody's emotions taking over and forcing them to do things that are in violation of any type of civil right.
Exactly.
And that's their goal. So with that, I'll get that sent to everybody this afternoon, and you can take a look at it. It's good training. And it really kind of opens your eyes after what the goal is. Most of the people that are involved that we have dealt with on that, we've had criminal charges filed against them for different things that they violated. I'd also recommend different signage at the courthouse. Just like our facility, we put up no videoing, no recording once you're around the building. So, I mean, it's something that makes a huge difference, and it gives you a little bit that they've got notice. And also cell phones. You guys make rules that if you want, it's your building. And you can put the cell phone, no cell phone use, no cell phones visible, no cell phones in the building. Because, there's safety issues that you can address for that. Cell phones can be a trigger for, explosive devices, things like that. So make the rules, make the rules.
I also wanted to add some on that, because a lot of Purdue extensions are housed in county buildings, and we have gotten notice on that too. And we didn't have a training, but they like us to say, hey, this is what we say. And you can say, this is a common area, you're more than welcome to be here. But if you, like my office, I can shut the door and go, this is not a common area, you are not allowed back. So we have some tips also on how to respond, because like he said, they just escalate, and then they just want to see you razzled, and then they want to be able to, well, you violated my rights, and things like that. So
You don't want to get caught up in too much conversation.
Right.
With them. And if the city building at Old Stony, we had the same issue. They showed up there. And the sad thing is, one of those people was a Clinton County resident for a lot of years. And, and they were walking in doing their, and they pushed the emergency button. So law enforcement thinks it's an emergency. So we show up, and then they try and catch us into the, conversation, things like that. But Old Stony has done a good job of making, especially during COVID, everybody out in the main foyer or lobby area, and that's kind of where you can contain. And if your office door is shut, it's shut. They can't come in there, that type of thing. So I mean, it kind of goes to the plan of, how accessible you want your offices. The sad thing is our community is punished by restricting access because we're waiting on these folks to do something. And typically, they do make their rounds to the community, and they'll probably be here in the next probably 30 days. They will definitely be here. So good thinking, good planning, but I'll share that information in that training. It's pretty simple, and it's really, really good information.
Yeah, and Karen, if you could share anything with Jerry as well, I mean, I think the more that we can share with our employees, the better.
that'd be great, the training.
So hate to say it, but a lot of times we just have to let them do their thing, and videoing, and you just have to consider yourself always recorded and always video.
And it's unfortunate that it's come to that, and this is probably at least the second or third email we've received on this, and so we've tried to be proactive and warn our staff and employees about it, and then there's pushback on social media about we're being too cautious and these type of things.
Well, I don't think you can ever be too cautious,
No.
especially in a setting where, in some of our county facilities do not have the same security as everybody else. And, you know, and still, with that, we still have to be vigilant. These folks, you know, can pose a danger, and, you know, and it's like anything, when they create a situation where panic button gets pushed, and then law enforcement's, you know, lights and sirens to go help out, we get one of our officers injured, that's gonna be pretty upsetting on something where they're just trying to, you know, be a nuisance, and that's truly what it is. So I try and entertain them with patience, and we remind our deputies all the time, and our jail staff, be patient, be patient, be patient. If there's not a true emergency, then kind of let things pan out, roll out. We'll have video with our body cameras, we'll have different things, the ability to identify whoever it is later if needed. So, but yeah, keep the information flowing, that way everybody's thinking about it, and when they show up, it's, oh, our office is closed, we're going to lunch, so.
Well, I think the key word you said was the liability.
Yeah.
Because if we're proactive with it and people are aware, that's much better than being caught on camera and having to deal with the
Well,
incident after the
absolutely,
fact.
they'll put you in a hard situation, and, you know, law enforcement especially.
Yep.
You know, our guys have to, we try and remind our people every week, be aware, be vigilant, you know what the call is, know what you're going to, and don't create a situation. And that's kind of the way we have to look at it.
Yep.
So, yes, sir.
Sheriff, I just want to mention too with the guys, I talked to the sheriff about that x-ray machine sitting outside the commissioner's office. It's been there for 10 years and never been used, and that point, I think we need to find a place for that other than the hallway.
I'm not sure that it's worth putting, it needs a dedicated electrical line. It needs its own circuit. I don't know that that's available until maybe the upgrades or everything else to the courthouse. It's not something to be included. Do I think it's an absolute necessity? No. To a certain extent, there's new technology that is a lot smaller and does a lot better job and is a lot cheaper. I would recommend that we find out where the unit came from and then decide how to get rid of it. If it was loaned by the government in any way or form, we can check with them, see if we can do what we need to do with it, or we return it and be gone with it. As far as storage, I have no idea where to put it.
I don't even know if it'll fit through the door. I think they had to take the doors apart to get it in there.
I believe we did too.
They will take it apart.
And I think it was given to us because it didn't work well.
I know that on servicing our body scanner at the jail, since we're under warranty, so if it's out of warranty, which obviously with that piece of equipment at the courthouse it is, I'm gonna guess it's $2,500 to $3,500 just to have somebody show up to look at it. And I don't even know if they would service it because of the game. So I can call.
Well, and I guess it doesn't matter if we don't have the right electrical, whether they get it up and running. I mean,
Yeah, and I think it was plugged in, and it was improper electricity, probably took care of it, or ruined it.
well, Bert, if you want to take on that task, chop it at value, or if you just want to chop it up and take it to Walmart
I
yourself.
suspect it's, yeah, tie a chain on, drag it out.
We can get figured out. I'll work with them.
Yeah, could I use your trailer?
Great, as long as you keep it at your house. We don't need it, thank you.
All right, next up is the old business. We have the county highway annual operation report. If you recall, we had tabled this last time. I worked with Rick and Joe there and Britt, and we were able to get it in much better shape than it was. So I'm good with moving forward with this if you guys are as well.
Yes.
I'll
Get a motion to approve it?
Yep.
So moved.
Second.
Motion carries 3-0. Last meeting, we opened up the reassessment bids for 2022 through 2026, and we only received the one bid. And so we have the, I guess, the motion to move forward with that. David, do you have anything you'd like to add to it? I'll add a couple things because I had checked with your office. I know the bid came in at $424,000 roughly, which I believe is below what you have budgeted on a yearly basis. When I
Yes.
talked to Jada, I think
Yes.
about 29,000 below. the budget amount. So
I
think that's
had,
good.
I had asked my vendor prior to budget to kind of estimate a percentage.
Mhm.
And so I had put that in the budget, that quarter amount in the budget at the time.
Okay.
Because I pay that quarterly.
So motion to move forward with the reassessment bids.
So moved.
Second.
Motion carries 3-0. Okay. All votes need sign. I'll do that after.
Yeah, one of those will go to the DLGF to be signed, and then when I get the original back, I will give it to Jerry for your office.
Yeah, that's 3 signatures on that. All right, moving on to new business. We have received some repair proposals for service at Ivy Tech. So as part of the agreement between the city and the county and Ivy Tech being a part of the community, specific repairs are our responsibility. And this is just an additional repair to, I believe, the AC unit for $3,672.50, and that's our 50% of the total bill. So I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
Second. Motion carries 3-0. One thing I would like to note, just so it's on record, is since about December of last year, we're up to about 17,000 in repairs at Ivy Tech. So something we need to at least have on our radar to be looking into. I guess that equipment's becoming obsolete a little quicker than maybe they thought, but hopefully this will give it a new 20-year life, because there's been kind of some major repairs to the HVAC.
The other thing I would suggest is increasing our ask for maintenance money next year. I think we typically take that out of courthouse, don't we?
Yeah.
So we need to bump that up, because I don't know that we've ever considered that as part of something we would need to maintain. And now that the age is appropriate, we need to add that. So that's,
Yeah. I think that's a great idea, Josh. Yeah, and the challenge is, we don't know when those expenses are coming in.
right.
Guesstimate. But yeah, that's a good idea. So we'll move forward with that. Next up is, we got a quote for the fence in front of EMS at the fairgrounds. I've noticed it for a couple years where it's got the orange temporary fence that's falling on the ground.
They took a tree out, and the tree had grown into the fence.
From a local company, Crawford Family Fence, can come in. I think it's roughly about a 60-foot section there, $550 to clean that up and make it look better. So again, out of our repairs total amount, but if you guys are open to that, I would entertain a motion to move forward.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion carries 3-0 to repair the fence.
One thing I would suggest
Yes.
is, part of the reason we never repaired that was because at the time we were considering constructing an entirely new fence across the front of that entire property. And then I think if you go down the south side of the property along Kelly Road, the fence is pretty bad between the where the current EMA office is and the corner, so the old highway building. But anyway, long story short, the idea was to wipe that all out and replace it, and I don't know what the cost of that is. It's probably a heck of a lot more than what I think it is, but I think that's something maybe we consider rolling into our facilities bond and our project with regions, like the jail, the courthouse. So when we do that, that would be the time to do it, and no more money than that would be. It's not gonna make or break those other projects.
I know out at the new water tower, the fencing for that was going to be $30,000. So just a rough idea of where we'll be at with that. But that is a good idea.
I wish we had enough money to make it, some brick columns and
Nice.
some rock looking material, but I just don't think it's in the comments.
No. Okay, another repair quote. This is for water heaters. We have two, Roush had put together two quotes. There's 3 sinks at the courthouse that the heaters are not working, so they have no hot water. One quote for each replacement was from QPH was $837. From JW Plumbing was $594. So that's per water heater. Install, labor, and in the heater. So entertain a motion to move forward with one of these quotes. JW Plumbing, $592.
I'll make a motion to approve the replacement of, what did you say, 3
Yeah.
water heaters with JW Plumbing for $594 a piece.
I'd like to second.
Motion carries 3-0. Okay. Department heads. See a few in the crowd. We have any? There we go. Morning, Renee.
Morning. I sent an email earlier before the meeting. I did offer one position. We have the pre-opening, so I did offer the one position to a gentleman on Friday. And then I hope this week, we finished up some job shadows of the other candidates over the weekend. So I'll be looking those back over and making the decision. And I hope to also kind of have a pool from this as well. So offer those final 2 positions, and those are not new positions. Those are just ones where we have vacancies.
Okay.
And like Karen said, I helped coordinate the Learning to Lead on Wednesday. It was really good. We included EMS and fire this year. In the past, it's always just been predominantly law enforcement, dispatch, and corrections. And Stephen and one of the EMTs came out. They were first up, and then fire department came out. Then we took the kids and we walked over to the training facility, and Frankfurt Fire did a actual burn there for them to see. And then we continued with dispatch and all of our law enforcement. So it was a really good day for that. So I think they all learned a lot. Good group of high schoolers.
That was
So
great. Thank you very much
yeah,
for
yeah,
all
it's
your
good.
hard work in that.
Yep, it's good. Something else. Oh, Rodney and I, with LAPC, we are on the committee as well as he's chair and I'm secretary. Just a early heads up, September 1st, we will be doing a full-scale exercise out at the training facility. So we've been working on that as part of the drill committee as well. So I'll send invites when it gets closer to everyone, but September 1st, so we've been working on that, having meetings, planning meetings, and trying to get that coordinated with everyone and the drill committee. So other than that, I don't have anything.
Good, thanks.
Thanks.
Anyone else? None? Okay. Move on, commissioner reports. You guys have anything?
Josh, go ahead.
The only thing I would add is just a little bit to what Renee has mentioned, the training facility. It has been heavily utilized so far. I think even Johnson Township Fire Department was in there yesterday, I think, even used it. So it's been an overwhelming success, and it's been, like I said, heavily utilized. I know by the Franklin Fire Department. I mean, it seems like we're out there at least 3 days a week. So anyway, money well spent, and I believe that it's getting close to being finished completely. There's a couple more containers that need to be added to the tower section, and then once that is complete, I'm sure that we will have some kind of a open house for the public so that we can show it off that way.
Well done.
And also all the agencies that help fund that will be able to see it firsthand and know that their money's been well spent. So
Well done.
other than that, I don't have anything. Thanks.
Mr. President, I have nothing.
You have nothing? Nothing. Okay. I have a couple things. One, I know, although it's happening to our south, there's been a lot of chatter about the development in Boone County, and there's been test wells that are being drilled here in Clinton County, and lots of rumors with that, and what we can and can't do, and how we can and can't be involved from a county entity standpoint. And I think one thing I would like to clear up is that there's concern about these wells being drilled that are on private property. And people have said, well, why can't you guys stop them? And we just don't have that ability to stop what someone's doing on their own private land. I mean, that's a little bit of an overreach on the government side here. It's no different than if I want to put a well in my yard for, you know, livestock or my house or whatever. I mean, essentially at this point, that's all they're doing. There's nothing commercially involved with that. But the one thing I would say is that we have been at the table having the conversations with the state, with the IEDC, so that we are involved, because it will affect our community going forward. And so it's very preliminary where we're at, but it is moving fast. I think that people just need to understand we're trying to get out in front of it and be a part of the conversation so that we can protect Clinton County going forward. But at the same time, the state has a vision, and we're going to have to work with them one way or another on this vision. So I don't know if you guys have anything you want to add to that.
I think the important thing to note is that we are at the table, making sure that we are part of the conversation, like you said, and also making sure that we're part of the project and that Clinton County benefits from this project that's going on between Lebanon and Lafayette along this I-65 corridor. So, you know, we've been talking about this for quite some time. This isn't anything new. So folks never like change. They don't like to see, I don't understand why somebody wouldn't want someone else to drill a well, but that's not for me to judge. But I think the important thing for everybody to know is we're going to be a part of this, and it's in our best interest to be a part of it, because it's going to happen whether we're a part of it or not.
Yep.
So
I guess last thing I'd say is, at this point, we're not going to have any meeting about it, or it's just too preliminary. But if you have questions, feel free to reach out, and we'll share what we can with you, and we'll continue to get updates from the groups that are involved and being at that table. So that's kind of all I had on that. The last thing I wanted to mention was, I probably could have done it under department head reports, but Ray had sent over the list of the voting centers. Tomorrow is the primary voting, and we just wanted to make an announcement because there maybe have been some confusion of where those were. So the courthouse is still available today until noon. Starting tomorrow on election day, you have 7 locations. You have the community schools of Frankfort Education and Administration Center, Colfax Christian Church, Rossville Town Park Pavilion, Kirkland Town Hall, Michigan Town Christian Church, the EMA building next to the Fairgrounds, and the Mulberry Police Station garage. And those are all from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Anything else from you guys? All right, we'll move on to claims. We have claims dated April 22nd in the amount of $3,134.86. Claims dated April 29th in the amount of $28,792.56. Biweekly claims for May 2nd, $242,085.88. And court claims from May 2nd, $5,109.24. Entertain a motion on those.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion for claims carries 3-0. Additionally, we have payroll from April 8th, $441,858.17. Motion to approve payroll.
Motion approved.
Second.
Motion carries 3-0. And lastly, we have minutes from April 18th.
So moved.
Second.
Motion for the minutes carried 3-0. Is there any other business that needs to become before the commissioners? Okay, seeing none, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second. Thank you.